Hi, this is Sean from Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio. Welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Alright, the complaint is that it won't tumble, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it into an on position. Here it just hum at me, so I know that the motor's not turning. So I'm going to take it apart and get inside here and see if I can see something bound up with the motor or something of that nature. So to do that, I got to pull the lint screen. Set that to the side. There are two Phillips screws here. I'm going to take those out. Alright, now that I have those out, I can pop the top and slide it forward. Lift it up like so. We have our harness down here for our door switch that I can go ahead and remove. Alright, so I'm just going to use my putty knife. Be careful not to slip and stick your thumb with it, or my painter's tool, not my putty knife. But just to release the tab, I find it easier to do it that way, so I got that separated. Now inside here there are two 5/16 screws that I'm going to have to remove the front panel. So now the front panel, I can just pull it forward, and then each end is going to be straight up. I want to be careful, the edges of this can be sharp. Straight up. I'm going to set the top down. Now our front panel is off. Just set this out of the way. And then I also saw this little spring, which I know connects inside here to the motor. That it was laying out here, so something went goofy inside there and it kind of imploded and spit parts out. Okay, now we got to remove, there's a clamp in the front that mounts it and a clamp in the rear. There's multiple ways you can do this. So I prefer to use the nut driver. I'm using 1/4 inch. Put it down on the tab, push down and twist out to remove the clamp. I'm going to do the same for the one in the rear here. Clamp off now too, so here's our two clamps. We got those there. The reason I do that first is because I want to pull the blower wheel out a little bit more, because to remove the motor out, so I can get a better grip on the blower wheel. So I'm just going to try to twist it and move it forward. Looks like we had more of our motor fall apart. So I got it as forward as I can. Back here, you can see the rear, that's where our blower wheel is. So it's a plastic blower wheel with a metal nut inside of it, and it has a square shaft on it. So I'm going to take my large crescent wrench, get it onto it as tight as I can, and then we're going to try to break it free. So I'm going to back here. It's a little loose. Pretty good. Right, when I'm doing this, I know which thread the motor or the blower wheel is under the motor. So I'm going to tuck my crescent wrench behind this roller here. And that's going to hold it in place, because I need to turn this motor pulley clockwise to break that free. So my crescent wrench is as tight as I can get it right now onto that plastic blower wheel. It's secured by that motor pulley. So now you could use vice grips if you wanted. I just happen to grab my channel lock. So I'm going to go down here to the motor pulley at the end. I'm going to put my channel locks on the motor pulley. And there's no wrong way to do this. I'm going to hold it as tight as I can. And in a forceful striking manner, I'm going to try to break it free. There we go. I just broke it free. You want to do it quick like that, or else what you're going to do is damage the plastic that the crescent wrench is on, and it will round it out or crack it. So you want to do quick strikes, we'll say, to get that off. I have to disconnect the wiring here. There's a tab here and a tab here. So I'll just use my screwdriver to loosen up the tabs. And then it just pulls off. So now that I have my blower wheel loosened, take my crescent wrench off, and I should be able to just separate everything. So that's the end of the motor that has the threads on it. And this is the part of the blower wheel that we had our crescent wrench on. You see how it's a square. So it'll hopefully give you a better idea how why we removed it in that fashion. All right, the motor mount here, this one is blue, this is in the rear. You see how it's got these threads on it. If I switch the motor around, the gray one here, this one's for the front. See, it's basically got the threads, it's also got this little notch. Next shot we'll show you are the where the motor sits into and what those go to. All right, this is with the front. You see that little notch? That's where that other little tab or little, I don't know, whatever you want to bump is going to go into, and that holds it so the motor can't go side to side. Those other ridges go on either side of here, and that prevents it from going forward and back. All right, what I'm going to start to do is put the motor in. To do that, I'm going to insert the motor, the shaft that goes into the blower wheel first. Just going to stick it in that little hole there. Once it's in there, now I just have to kind of lift and twist the motor to get it in position so that my tabs in the front and back brackets are in place, which they are now. Now it's not locked in because that little notch isn't filled that we had on the front one that I showed you. So to make it easier, I'm going to plug in the wiring now instead of having to do it at a weird angle. I'm going to go ahead, take the harness, push it in place. Both locking tabs will lock. I can rotate my motor then and it will fall into place. Just like that there. So now there's no side to side and no front to back. Now I need to make sure my blower wheel gets tightened before I put the clamps on. To do that, I'm going to spin the motor in the opposite direction than when I removed it. So I'm going to go counterclockwise. Still good?
Good.
So I'm just going to go like this. I can put a finger on the blower wheel just to feel it start to bite in. And you don't have to over tighten it because the way that the motor turns, it will go in this same way when it tumbles. And it will make sure that the blower wheel stays on. So we got that in place. The next step is to do our clamps for our motor. Alright, so when I start with my front one, there's little slots in the clamp there. And so I'm going to put, there's a tab, put the tab in place, line this up where it's over it, and just like I did with my 1/4 inch nut driver to get it off, I'm going to take this, and it's a striking motion. Couple tries. So you just kind of snap it down in place and then it's secured in both spots. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the rear. Now I'm going to go in, put the rear one on. This one's more difficult just because it's a tighter spot. Try my best to line it up and snap it down. Alright, so I'm just going to set the idler pulley. It's probably going to fall, but it's just going to fall. At least it's where I need it to be. Now I'm going to take the drum, insert the drum, make sure that my 2 rollers in the rear are going to fit down in the groove of the drum. Go ahead and slide my drum into position, and I'm just going to rotate it, and I can kind of feel when they go in. If you're not sure, you can reach underneath and feel to make sure that the rollers are where they should be. Alright, right now I'm just inspecting my belt to make sure it's not twisted. I'm going to go underneath, hook it up onto the idler pulley and the motor pulley. Alright, that's good. Now we're going to attach our front panel. Alright, got the front panel. Got the tabs at the bottom. We had to lift off. Now I'm going to slide them down. There's one. See if we get lucky and get them both pulleys. Need 2. Lift the drum up so I can slide the front panel back. I'm going to connect my door switch here. Good. Just push it back together. It's keyed so it'll only fit one way. Now I can tell just by looking down my drum isn't in position. So I'm going to open the door so I can reach up and lift the drum up. So there's nothing really for me to grab from the top. So I'm going to lift it up, and then that way I can get it to fully seat all the way like it is now. Now I got the two 5/16 screws that are going to go in here. So I'll take the first one. Got that one in. Second one. Now I can take the top or close my top. So that's closed. At this point here, we still have to tighten up the lint duct there. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in just to make sure that everything's going to tumble. So just a couple things that I don't have to take out again. All right, I'm going to turn this into the on position. Hit the start button. And obviously we have tumbling. That's good. Since it's a gas, it'll take a few seconds for the burner to ignite. I'm going to give that a chance to happen. Like I said, the reason doing that is I don't want to put it all back together in case I have to take it apart. In case maybe I bumped a wire or something, I found a secondary problem. So I just heard the gas ignite. So at this point here, I can go ahead and install my screws for my lint duct here. Good. You want to be careful. They're very easy to drop down into the lint duct. So that's why I'm kind of doing them by hand right now. Get them started. Go ahead and tighten them down. Take my lint screen, place that, and I'll open up the dryer. Just check, make sure I definitely have hot air and that the unit's been tumbling. Thank you for watching another quality in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.